What up, you nerds? Fallout here, and I gotta tell ya, as much as I love bashing a Guardian's face in with an icy boxing glove in PvP, Titans are really running out of control right now. I probably don't have to tell you that though. Well, that's what happens when you introduce a roaming super with an unbelievably long duration and the biggest incoming damage resist factor in the game. Bungie has hinted at a potential upcoming nerf to Behemoth Titans. IMO, it is 100% going to happen soon, but that doesn't mean we should wait to take a look at some of the most effective and ineffective ways to take down a Titan in Glacial Quake. My buddy Cool Guy and I worked together in gathering research on this very topic for a video he already has up on his channel. That's me, right there. I think he did a good job showcasing both weapons and tactics for fighting a Behemoth Titan. Link to that video in the video description if you want to check it out. I wanted to cover a little bit more, including what roaming supers I think are worth popping to try and counter a Glacial Quake Titan. I've made a couple vids like that in the past and wanted to keep the tradition going with Glacial Quake. But before we do that, I want to take a minute to thank the sponsor of today's video, Filmora Go. Tell me, do you want to be
an internet celebrity,
or maybe film a few cringy ass TikTok videos of you doing weird crap in a grocery store? Well, then you need Filmora Go. It's easy to download, easy to use, straightforward video editing right on your friggin' phone. It's got effects, stickers, royalty-free music, sound effects, you name it, everything you need to edit video footage right on your mobile device. All you gotta do is use my link in the video description, then click the button taking you to the old Google Play Store where you can download it for free. For more editing tips, you can also check out their YouTube channel, link to that in the video description as well. Thank you, Filmora Go. Alright, back to killing Titans. Really, if you want to bring down a Titan, you're gonna have to either burn a super or use a high-powered ability. Or you're gonna have to have the right weapon equipped. Let's start with the former, and look how every super in the game fares at fighting Glacial Quake in a 1v1. We'll also look at relevant abilities that I'm sure you might be curious about. Starting with Titans, Glacial Quake versus Glacial Quake is a rough matchup, and I wouldn't recommend it. If your back is up against the wall, and you have to though, remember that the goal is not to just go in swinging, but try to be the one who lands the first freeze. Yeah, they thaw out quickly, but if you can freeze, then bash, not to mention litter the battlefield with your own glacier nades, you'll be in good shape. But again, not an ideal matchup. There's a lot of RNG involved. Try to freeze them before they freeze you. Bubble Titan does not very well against Glacial Quake. All they have to do is freeze you, then it's game over. If the Glacial Quake Titan is kind of a rookie and tries to punch you out of the bubble, all you gotta do is melee back immediately to prevent the knockback. If you have a good shotgun to follow up with, then you'll be looking good. But unfortunately, any smart behemoth is gonna open up with a freeze, then murder you. I would avoid trying to bubble to counter a behemoth if I were you. Sentinel Titan actually does fairly well. Your goal should be to stay in the air as much as you can to avoid getting frozen. Remember that one Captain America shield throw and one swipe bonk combo will result in a dead Behemoth Titan. If you can stay in the air, avoid getting frozen, and land your swipe bonk, game over. Code of the Commander Titan. Hell to the no. This one hurts because it does so well at shutting down other roaming supers, but not Glacial Quake. You'll do chip damage with Banner Shield, but the big block does nothing to prevent you from getting frozen by Glacial Quake. Bad matchup, you will get pounded. Top Tree Striker Titan is surprisingly good in this matchup. Remember, you gain extra damage from being even a little bit higher up in the air when you activate Fist of Havoc, and if you throw in just one small jump before activating, that is enough damage right out of the gate to eliminate the behemoth. Aftershocks in particular also do good damage. The shoulder charge attack spam is also very annoying for behemoth to deal with and can help you dodge out of getting frozen. Not a bad matchup for the striker at all. Bottom Tree Striker can also win the 1v1, but you gotta be more careful. You don't have as much damage as Top Tree, and you don't get aftershocks. This one is more about spamming shoulder charge and being on point with your timing. Slightly harder matchup, but still winnable. Code of the Missile. All or nothing, baby. Yeah, you can absolutely destroy a Behemoth Titan, but for the love of God, don't get jebaited and miss. Keep in mind that Glacial Quake offers really good movement. If they suspect a Thunder Crash is coming, they can simply bait you out and Shiver Strike away, leaving you exposed and feeling like a dumbass. Don't get baited, and you'll win. Top Tree Hammer Titans. This one can go either way. Your best bet is to play Keep Away in the air and wait for the behemoth to land on the ground, likely when they're trying to freeze you. All you need to do is land 2 hammers for the kill. Just be patient and don't get frozen. Burning Meme was shockingly not terrible. The ground pound attack will 2-tap and is great at getting the behemoth out of the air. The biggest thing going against you though is either missing your ground pound or the fact that behemoth can easily outlast you before going in to pound your face. Bottom Tree Hammer Titan was so shockingly good at ending Glacial Quake. Sunspot damage is huge. Honestly, look right here. The burn damage from touching a sunspot is 20 damage per tick, and the ticks happen really fast. If the behemoth ain't quick, they can die to just one hammer. Bait the behemoth in, remember to stand in a sunspot when you can, and throw hammers down if they're charging you. They'll take hammer and sunspot damage. Very good matchup, damn good super at burning Glacial Quake. Ability-wise, most Titans should not attempt to shoulder charge a Glacial Quake. You're not gonna do enough damage to really hurt it, and they're just gonna murder your face in one hit. Yes, even Bottom Tree Sentinel Titan. I know it can suppress the enemy out of their super, but their melee is faster and better than yours. If you're in a situation where you have no other choice and you might lose the game if you lose the round, go for it, but it is not ideal. Peregrine Greaves, the exotic that powers up your shoulder charge to one-hit kill levels in the air, is a viable option. After a fair amount of testing though, I gotta tell you, the risk of failure on this one is really high. If you mess up, you're done, and against a good behemoth, you're likely to trade best case scenario. The suppression grenade is top shelf, maybe the best ability out there at stopping the behemoth. Gotta make sure you don't waste it though. If they know you're baiting them in, they can easily melee swipe back, then just fly back in for the kill. As a last ditch defense, remember Titans that you can try to drop your barricade on the battlefield, especially in narrow hallways and such, to try and trip up an enemy behemoth. Yeah, they can shatter strike through, but they'll take a little bit of damage when they do. If the enemy F's up and actually touches your barricade without shatter striking through, they will get hurt and they will get slowed down, and that'll help you finish them with gunfire. Let's move on to Warlocks. Winter's Wrath, aka the Shadebinder super, is the gold standard for eliminating Behemoth Titan and any other roaming super, even though I think Shadebinder's neutral game is overall weaker when compared to the Revenant or the Behemoth. Winter's Wrath on its own is S tier for its ability to put Glacial Quake in its place. Yeah, you move slow, but the super will last a long time, and any smart Behemoth will probably think twice before charging you. Top Tree Dawnblade. This is a doable matchup, but you gotta play it the right way. Right way in this case, meaning stay in the air for the love of God. Float for as long as you can and Icarus Dash when you need to. If you can use Heat Rises beforehand, even better. 2 sword attacks back to back will kill, remember that. The biggest problem you'll have will be eventually falling to the ground or the behemoth outlasting your Dawnblade, then murdering you. Bottom Tree Dawn, same deal. Bigger downside though, because you don't have access to Icarus Dash. Try to land 2 sword hits and stay in the air. Radiant Well. This super I'm gonna go ahead and nickname the Dummy Punisher, because if the enemy behemoth is a huge dum-dum, you can actually win the 1v1. If the behemoth comes in hot and tries to just punch you out of the well, all you gotta do is immediately melee back to not get knocked out. Pair together with a hard-hitting shotgun and you can win. Unfortunately, any smart behemoth is probably going to open up with a freeze attack and then you're dead. Not recommended. Top and Bottom Tree Nova Bomb are both kind of the same deal. You gotta bait them in close, then throw the bomb down for a guaranteed detonation on the ground in front of you. If they're within range, they should be dead. Top Tree Nova especially has to be sure to throw straight down, because if you try to get cute and send the Nova Bomb straight out for a lock-on kill, bad news, friendo. Your Nova Bomb is as fast as my 90-year-old grandmother, and Glacial Quake is a hornet on cocaine. Throw the Nova Bomb down and blow it up. If you miss, you are done. Nova Warp is winnable, but you have to avoid being frozen hardcore. Blinking and dodging constantly is the play. You gotta wait for your moment and hit with 1 charge-up attack for big-ish damage, then you can finish up with a quicker, non-charged blast. Be warned, your blasting can also detonate their glacier grenades, which is bad news for you if you're near them and weak. Top Tree Stormcaller is also doable. You gotta Ionic Blink like a mother though. We're talking major hit and run tactics. Little tickle damage here, Ionic Blink away. Little tickle damage there, Ionic Blink away. Remember, if the enemy Behemoth is smart and tags you with Duskfield, you can't Ionic Blink anymore. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, and you can win. Bottom tree Stormcaller is ass. Actual, literal ass. Landfall does 100 damage max on Glacial Quake, which is actual horse by the way, and you also lose the ability to Ionic Blink. Horrible matchup, you're guaranteed to get plowed. Chaos Reach. Now we're talking. Provided you're quick and accurate, Chaos Reach can French fry Glacial Quake. You really gotta make sure you're getting the kill though, because if they evade away behind cover before dying, you are 100% boned. They'll wait for your beam to finish, and then it is game over for you. Warlock ability wise, I've got some icy options we'll get to later, but one thing I know people are gonna bring up is handheld supernova. Trust me dude, it ain't happening. Even at point blank, you are not gonna do enough damage to even pop shields, which is really heartbreaking. Hunters, you're up. Silence and Squall is doable, but you have to be accurate. After you land that first hit that makes the Titan all frozen and immobile, that second shot has got to be dead on for big boy level damage, or that Titan is gonna thaw out and zoom away in the blink of an eye, and you'll be the jabroni who just wasted your super without getting a kill. Land both hits dead on, big damage, and get the win. Top tree Tether, actually a good-ish counter for Glacial Quake. This is one of the few supers in the game that can outlast the Behemoth. All you gotta do is play defensively, and don't try to hit the Titan directly with the Tether. Instead, shoot the Tether right down at the ground and camp that Tether. If the Behemoth gets too close to you, they will get caught and shut down. Bottom tree Tether. Little bit harder. You can get the kill, but remember your tether range is dick compared to top tree. Keep shooting your tethers down at the floor as the Titan charges you, and hopefully you get them to trip one. Trying to get a direct hit is crazy because the Behemoth can zigzag a ton, and you're probably not gonna get the hit. Middle tree Night Stalker. You definitely can win this fight, but you have to be careful about it. If you get frozen, it's all over. The biggest things you have going for you though are your camo, your wall hack, and the length of your super. Pop your super, use the camo to your advantage, bait the Titan in while keeping off their radar, then a quick 1-2 combo and bam, they're dead. Play it patient, play it sneaky, and you will win. All three Arcstaff supers have the same problem, getting frozen. The moment you get frozen, that fight is over. You gotta dodge like crazy and try to get hits in when you can. Remember though, you have a hidden ace up your sleeve, and it's the one thing you should probably try to do if the Behemoth is charging you. Light, light, heavy, aka the Palm Blast attack. The damage on that Palm Blast is insane. I've used it in the past to kill Bubble Titans in one hit, if you remember. If you manage to get that Palm Blast off, that will completely one-shot Glacial Quake in a flash. Honestly, it's your best bet. Try to bait them into it, get the timing right, and you will be riding that high all day if you can pull that kill off. Golden Gun, they both have an upside and they both have a big downside. The upside is they have the range and the power to put down Glacial Quake. Top tree Goldie needs 2 shots to get the job done, while bottom tree needs only 1 shot, provided you land that shot in the head. The downside is that Golden Gun has a terrible duration, and the only thing Behemoth really needs to do is hide and wait out the clock. When you run out of Goldie, and believe me, you will very quickly, that Behemoth will still have plenty of time to explode out of cover and tear you a new beehole. Not recommended. Finally, we have Blade Barrage. Yeah, file this under Nova Bomb level territory. You've got 1 shot to get the job done, and while it can work, it is shockingly easy to F up. Keep in mind, the Behemoth is quick like a bunny, and Blade Barrage is clunky like a shopping cart. Even up close, it's so easy to trade, which is flat out ridiculous, by the way. Honestly though, if you're maining Blade Barrage at this point, you have bigger problems than timing a Behemoth Titan shutdown. Just telling you what you need to hear, bro. Ability-wise, yeah, Athrus's Embrace can get big throwing knife damage, but dear God, if you actually pull off a heavyweight knife kill on a Glacial Quake Titan zipping around in the game, I'll French kiss you. Trust me, it's not gonna happen. However, here's some abilities you can actually kinda rely on though. All of them come from where else the 3 stasis classes. Slowing down or flat out freezing a behemoth can be a big help. 2 Hunter Shurikens or a Shuriken paired with a Winter's Shroud Hunter dodge will freeze. A Shadebinder Warlock melee is a great tool at halting a charging behemoth, and so is the Cold Snap grenade. One thing that won't work at stopping a behemoth is the Duskfield grenade, which, while popular, the Titan can immediately fly out of. While freezing a Titan only lasts a short period of time, you can use that time to damage with team shooting, which can be much more effective if you're rocking the following: Whisper of Hedrons, aka Kill Clip in a can. Hedrons gives you the immediate damage buff after freezing any enemy, and while it's not ideal, it can really put a damper on a Glacial Quake Titan's day. As Cool Guy recommends in his video with the Cold Snap grenade, your best option is aiming it straight down. I concur. Trying to throw it deep will just result in heartbreak. The behemoth is just too quick. Let them charge you, aim it straight down. Hopefully it'll hit them as they barrel towards you. Weapon-wise, there's a fair amount of weapons that can help you lock up a kill on Glacial Quake. Some are better than others. Arbalists, as many of you know, can put down a Glacial Quake Titan in 1 headshot. If they're running 10 Resil, however, they can tank that shot. Be careful of that. If you're in trials up against a Titan and you're rocking Arby, be sure to check what Resil they're running. Izanagi's Burden, while not a popular meta weapon these days, can put down Glacial Quake with Honed Edge ×2. Before you ask, no, Honed Edge ×4 won't kill in the body. Yeah, I know. I wish it did too. Snipers with box breathing are capable of doming a behemoth, provided it's either adaptive frame or an aggressive frame sniper. Rapid fire snipers with box breathing, they ain't powerful enough. Don't even try. While we're on the topic of sniper rifles, let's talk about Vorpal Weapon. An adaptive frame sniper with Vorpal will do 186 damage on a headshot. We need a little bit more damage. An aggressive frame with Vorpal can give us the damage that we need. The Deepstone Crypt Raid Sniper is an aggressive frame and can roll with both Vorpal Weapon and Moving Target. Something to keep in mind. That leads us to Vorpal Weapon in general. Yeah, snipers are kinda ideal because they can get the job done in 1 hit. That doesn't mean, though, that any other weapon with Vorpal should be ignored. Stars in Shadow is one of my favorite weapons in the game, and the Vorpal version of the gun hits like a truck. With just 3 headshot bursts, you can put down Glacial Quake with Vorpal Shadow. There are other Vorpal weapons out there worthy of tangling with Titans. 7th Seraph SMG, Ikelos SMG, 7th Seraph Shoddy, 7th Sidearm, Fellwinter's Lie, but I really prefer the Shadow due to the range factor. I don't like getting too close to Glacial Quake unless I really have to. Quick reminder that Vorpal weapons and the Whisper of Hedron's damage buff do stack together. By the way, fair warning, I think a lot of people out there would assume that a Vorpal slug shoddy like the first in last out would absolutely truck a behemoth. Sadly, no, you need 2 headshots at close range, meaning you're gonna get your brain bashed in. Devil's Ruin, a gun I love but have not used in a while. Shockingly, not bad at beating Behemoth. You can't do it in a single charge shot, but remember that you can pull off a full charge shot even with just 1 bullet left in the mag. So the play there is tag him a few times with regular shots if you have to, then burn him down with the beam. Malfeasance, gotta be honest with you, almost forgot this hand cannon was the thing. Unfortunately, I think it does get outshined by True Prophecy and other 120 RPMs, but it's great in the super shredding department. 5 shots on a behemoth will give you an explosion, and the 6th shot will kill. I might start running trials with a mouth in my back pocket, just in case. Finally, we come to power weapons. There's a few that can get the job done very well. Wardcliff Coil remains the gold standard for power weapons that can liquefy any roaming super. No shocker there. If both your main weapons are legendary, you should be running Wardcliff in PvP. If for some reason you don't have Wardcliff, Tractor Cannon does work great, but you have to get close to the Titan, which is dangerous, so be careful. I assumed that Legend of Acreus would tear through Glacial Quake like a wet paper bag, but no. You need 2 shots, which is garbage, and you'll get murdered before pulling off shot number 2. Disappointed there. Finally, and this is mostly for the meme factor, Leviathan's Breath can one-shot in the head, and it's hilarious, but yeah, that falls under the large category of power weapons that can work, but why would you when you can just use Tractor Cannon or better yet, Wardcliff. And there you go. Hopefully with the info provided, you might feel a little bit more confident in challenging a Glacial Quake Titan in a 1v1, either with your roaming super or the right weapons. If you enjoyed today's video, do me a favor and let me know by clicking the like button. As always, check me out on Twitch and don't forget to subscribe and help me with my oh so humble goal of becoming the sole ruler of the world. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.